our first lesson for algebra is basically essentially what is algebra. Okay, so the first thing we gotta know in algebra 1 is what is a variable. A variable is a system, usually a letter that represents a value. So usually in algebra 1 you're gonna see typical like letters such as X or even Y. Sometimes you might even see like other letters such as N, I don't know, like many other letters into the future. But right now the main focus of this lesson is to know like the two main variables that we usually use in math, which is X and Y. Okay, we have an expression. The next thing we have to learn in this course. An expression is a combination of numbers, variables, and operations. For example, 4x minus 73. You notice here that we don't have an equal sign. Expressions do not have an equal sign. The next thing is evaluating expressions. To evaluate an expression, substitute values for the variables and simplify. Okay, so in this case, we have an example here that says, let me change the color. We have 2x minus 5, right? What we basically do here is saying that x equals 4. So basically we're going to substitute the x into 4. So basically now instead of having an x, we're going to have a 4. So 2 times 4 minus 5. You keep the equation the same except just replacing the x and the 4. Okay, so what's 2 times 4? That equals 8. And then 8 minus 5, that would equal 3. So we basically simplified this expression. We have equations. An equation is a statement that two expressions are equal. To solve an equation, find the value of the variable that makes the equation true. Okay, so an equation, just think about it as two expressions. We have one expression right here, and we have another expression right here, and they're basically equal to each other. So a lot of kids get confused with like the difference between an expression and an equation. An expression does not have an equal sign. Just think about it that way. And an equation does, okay? And it's basically combined by two different expressions in this case. Okay, so let's say, so this is our example. X plus 3 equals 7. So in order to solve an equation, we basically have to isolate the variable, which is in this case X. How do we do that? We basically move this 3 to the other side. So the way to isolate the x is just canceling what's like on its side. So we basically have 3. So the way to cancel is doing the opposite of that positive 3, which is subtracting. So we cancel those, and then whatever we do to the left, we have to do to the right. So if we subtracted 3 on the left side, we also have to subtract 3 on the right side. So what's 7 minus 3? 7 minus 3 equals 4. So this is our answer to this equation basically. So now we gotta know order of operations. The order of operations is a rule for evaluating expressions. The way to evaluate expressions is using PEMDAS. That's the first thing, that's super important for this course. If you do not memorize this, you're gonna have trouble solving equations and expressions. So just remember PEMDAS as P for parentheses, E for exponents, M for multiply, D for divide, A for addition, and then S for subtraction. So that's basically what you have to know for PEMDAS. If you memorize all of these parts, you're gonna have a good time in Algebra 1. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example in this case. So let's do 5 minus 3 times 5. So in this case, you see, in this case, what we either have two options: subtracting or multiplying, or we also have the parentheses right here. So according to PEMDAS, what we first have to do is solve what's inside of the parentheses. So we leave the 5 and subtraction the same, but we multiply what's inside because we first have to solve the parentheses. So it's 3 times 5. Well, 3 times 5 equals 15. So now afterwards, now we can subtract. What's 5 minus 15? 5 minus 15 equals negative 10. Evaluating an expression. This is, sorry guys for this example, this is completely wrong. Like the solution here is wrong, so I'm gonna just give you instead another example. So here, let's just say we have let's stop using 3. Let's do 4 times 2 minus 3 plus 5. Okay, so here we have three different signs. We have multiplying, we also have subtracting, and we also have addition in this case. So you might be thinking, what's the first step we do in this equation? I mean, in this expression, basically. So remember, PEMDAS. PEMDAS is parentheses, exponents, multiplying, dividing, addition, and subtraction, okay? So according to PEMDAS, the first thing we do is multiplying in this case, because we also have addition and subtractions, and those are after multiplying. So 4 times 2 equals 8, and now you might be thinking, which one do we do first, subtracting or addition? For these, addition and subtraction is basically the same thing. You can do whichever order you want it to be. So in this case, I'll just do subtracting first. So 8 minus 3 plus 5. So 8 minus 3 equals 5, and then afterwards we just basically add. So it's 5 plus 5, that equals 10. So see, we basically simplified our expression in this case. Quick practice. Alright, so these are some examples for you. I want you guys to solve it. So pause the video quickly, and then afterwards solve, like, I'll explain these examples. Okay, so now in this equation in part A, we have x plus 3 equals 10. This is an equation since it has an equal sign. Okay, so what's the first thing we do? Like in the last example I showed you, we basically isolate the x. So we cancel out the 3. So the way to cancel out that 3, since it's positive, the opposite of positive is negative. So that's how we cancel it out. We basically keep the 3 the same. We cancel it out, and then whatever we do to the left, we also have to do to the right. So then our equation will now be x equals 7. So we basically solved this equation. So now we have to evaluate the expression. The reason why this is an expression is because it doesn't have an equal sign. There's no equal sign in it. So now it's saying to replace the n to 4. Okay, so how do we replace it? We basically write down our equation first, and afterwards in parentheses we put 4 inside. So you see how we switched the n for the 4? So yeah, that's basically replacing, okay? So what's 2 times 4 minus 5? So 2 times 4 minus 5, what we first do in this case is multiply according to PEMDAS. So 2 times 4 equals 8, and then 8 minus 5, well, that equals 3. So we basically simplified our expression to 3. So this was our first lesson of Algebra 1. I hope you guys learned a lot, and hopefully you guys understand variables, expressions, and also equations. So see you guys in the next video.